Asking friends and family for money doesn't have to be awkward and it doesn't have to break relationships. Let's talk about that today. Happy Monday. I hope you are having a great start to your week. We're going to talk some money here on Money Mondays at the Business of Apparel. Today's going to be a short one because I just really quickly want to extend what we talked a little bit about last week, where we were talking about bootstrapping. And something that I kind of mentioned in there is if you don't want to bootstrap, you can ask friends, family, whoever else is in your life for a donation or for a small amount of cash. And if you're feeling really awkward about this situation and if you really need cash, there are a couple different pieces of advice that I can give to you from my personal life on how I have been able to borrow some money in the past from friends and family. And it ended up going really, really smoothly. It wasn't awkward. We haven't broken relationships or anything like that. And so I wanted to just give you a little bit of that advice today in case it helps you as you're trying to figure out what funding looks like. Now, the best way to ask for money when it comes to friends and family is to guarantee that you will give it back. A lot of friends and family can feel a little bit trepidatious, maybe is the right word, if they're going to be giving you money with no return on it. Now, if you have a super uber rich uncle and you want to ask him to maybe make an investment in your company, I'm actually going to guarantee you that if he's a super uber rich uncle who makes investments in any company, he's expecting a return on that too. So what we have done in the past is if we're a little bit strapped for cash, if we're looking, when we first got married, right? And we were looking to buy our condo or maybe buy or lease our first car. And we needed a couple extra $1,000 or we needed a couple extra $100 even just to kind of get it going, get us over that threshold point. Maybe we were really close. We have reached out in the past. And the number one thing that we always guarantee is we're going to get you your money back. We're going to pay you back in full. We're asking that you give us an interest-free loan, basically, and we're going to pay you back. The big part of that is we always attached a timeline and a schedule to it. So let's say I owed my mom $1,000. I was going to pay her $10 or $100, every month for the next 10 months. Within the year, she was going to be paid back. And if I could pay her faster or pay her any more, I was going to guarantee her that. Now, this is friends and family. I've never put anything in writing, but if you feel like that is necessary and you want to put some stuff in writing, that's never going to hurt. Having a contract when it comes to money, when it comes to business endeavors is a smart play. Especially if you think, again, that it could become awkward or maybe there's something there that could, damage a relationship in any kind of way. So if you want to put that on paper and have both of you sign it, it's not a bad idea. I've never done that. And I always abided by the schedule and the timeline that we set forth. But if you want to put anything on paper, again, I kind of recommend that that's kind of a good practice for you as a business owner. So the schedule is the number one thing, right? I'm going to pay you, this is how much I'm going to pay you back every single month, every single week, every other month, whatever it is, until this is paid off. And if I follow that schedule, you'll be paid off by X date. So just map it out, do the math yourself and figure it out and let them know. It's then up to them to decide if they're okay with that. And a lot of times when we've asked friends and family for loans like this, we've gotten no's. And a lot of times friends and family will say no because it can be awkward and money and family sometimes don't mix and sometimes money and friends don't mix. And sometimes they just don't want to get themselves into that boat. They don't want to risk it. And we always fully respect that. Even when we work with friends or family in a business or professional way, I really like to set boundaries, right? My sister does a lot of our marketing for us. She is a creative genius when it comes to our new Instagram social feed at the Business of Apparel. That is her. The way that the feed now looks, the way that our cover pages look, that's my sister, which I'm super, super excited to be working with her. But before we jumped into working together, we were very, very clear about where the boundaries were, right? If I call you and I'm just wanting to chat about my nephews and my parents and what's going on and how's work and all that stuff, that's a personal call. We have different avenues. We use Slack more often than not, and we use our professional emails, our work emails, to work together. We don't really mix the two. And so that was kind of an agreement that we had to make. It was a conversation that had to be had. And that's not different if you're going to be borrowing money from a friend or a family member. Having that conversation with them up front, setting those boundaries, talking to them about what it looks like. What if I miss a payment? What is that going to be for you? How are we going to get through that? It could be really, really worth it to make sure that they have confidence in you. They're happy to give you the money. They're happy to lend it to you. But you should probably be prepared that if you're asking a whole bunch of friends and family members for money like that, a lot of them might say no. You've put in the hours, you've mastered the fundamentals, and your brand is no longer a passion project. But somewhere along the way, the hustle that got you here started to feel like a trap. You're building a business, not just making clothes, and you're starting to wonder if you'll ever crack the code to consistent, profitable growth. What if I told you that industry's top brands aren't just working harder, they're working smarter, with a clear blueprint for everything from line planning to streamlining their supply chain? This is the insider knowledge that's typically kept behind closed doors, but now it's accessible to you. Introducing The Board, an annual membership designed to give you that strategic advantage. Led by a team with over 70 years of combined experience, we provide the honest, real talk mentorship you need to move from busy to truly successful. We'll show you how to focus on the small, consistent actions that lead to massive progress, helping you build a legacy without the burnout. It's time to stop second guessing yourself and start building with purpose. Don't pay attention to the chaos. Pay attention to what actually matters. Join the board and unlock the proven systems that will transform your brand. Go to thebusinessofapparel.com to find the option that's right for you. I can't wait to see you in there. The second thing that I really, really recommend, and this is something that we've always done when we've borrowed money from anybody, is to pay them back early. If you can, if there's any possible way for you to go above and beyond what you ended up borrowing from them, like you don't have to pay them back more money. But if I said, to my mom, that same scenario, I'm going to pay you $100 back over the next 10 months to get you this $1,000 back. And by month 6, I actually pay it all in full. And I'm like, here's the rest of your money. We don't need to worry about this anymore. I'm not going to, we're not going to have this business transaction over our heads any longer. And in those cases, like my mom and my parents are always like, you don't need to do that. Don't worry about it. And I do it anyway, because I usually want to kind of get that off of my plate. I don't want to have, all of that money being borrowed from people. Now, if people want to give you gifts, and they want to kind of donate to the beginning of your company, if you want to host like a launch party and bring all of your family and friends and invite all of your family and friends, and maybe there's like a QR code on, like, if you have like a buffet table of food and you've got like a little card with a QR code on it, they can scan that and then maybe they can just Venmo you what they feel like they want to gift to you for the launch of your company. And you can compare that to like a wedding shower gift or a baby shower gift or anything else like that you might be starting in your life. Starting a business is kind of aligned with those kinds of things if you think about it. So that's definitely a possibility. In those situations, though, you probably want to expect, or you want to kind of anticipate, that the gifts might not be in the $1,000 range. Maybe someone's going to give you $50. Maybe someone's going to give you $200. Maybe someone's just going to give you $5. And so gratitude toward any amount coming your way, even if it's just a single penny, is really, really important to hold in that situation, because they're not expecting to get that money back. Again, it's a gift from them to you. And then figuring out, like I said last week, what it is that you're hoping to achieve when it comes to raising money. So if you kind of want to combine those different things, right? Like maybe you hold a launch party, you ask people to Venmo you as a gift, you make $450. I don't know, throwing out a number there. But you still need to make another $550 to be able to make the computer purchase that you really need to make. That's the one thing that you need to be able to start your business. That's then maybe when you can go to someone else who can lend you that money that you can pay them back on. And you need to have a plan on how you're going to pay them back. Are you still working your full-time job? And so you're going to siphon off a little bit of cash every single month. Are you going to go get a part-time job while you're starting your company? Are you going to start right away? Do you have freelance gigs already on the books? Do you have clients already on the books? Do you already have inventory to sell? Are you going to start drop shipping and you're going to start selling inventory without needing to develop or buy any? So having that plan and knowing how you're going to pay that money can be really, really important. But it is a possibility. It is something available to you. Just make sure that you do it in a way and you hold the integrity as the borrower that you are going to pay it back or you are going to be very grateful. I always really recommend if someone gifts you something for your business, write them a handwritten thank you card and send it to them. You have no idea how far that goes for people, just that you sat down and wrote them a thank you card. I have like stacks and stacks of thank you cards in my desk so that when people send me gifts or people do something gracious for me within my business, I write a thank you card and I put it in the mail with a stamp on it. It feels maybe really old school, but it goes a really long way. And it just feels like a touch point that's really special, which is what you should be doing, right? It is a special thank you if someone is helping you with your business. So I hope some of that advice helped you today. And we kind of expanded a little bit on last week. If you have any questions on this, or maybe you want to share a story, I would love to hear all about it. If you're watching here on YouTube, you can always put comments below. And if you're listening on any of our other platforms, including Instagram and LinkedIn, go ahead and put comments below. We love to hear from our community. We love to chat with you. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you next week. Talk soon.